What is up, guys? Welcome back to part 10. We're in double digits now of configuring a WordPress site or setting one up for a complete beginner. In this video, we're just going to go a little bit more in depth on some SEO stuff for your WordPress, and I'm just going to keep it really simple and try to keep it within 10 minutes or around there. But I just want to go over a short list. If you go out on the internet and you do some research on best SEO practices for your WordPress site, you're going to get a combination of the following stuff, and I kind of wanted to just make a short list of things you should think of, and you can take your research further if you want, but I just made this short text list for us just to cover real quick. So everybody's going to give you something about, they're all going to say something about keyword research. This is just about making sure your site is based around what you're trying to rank for. Like we're talking about, say we're a flower shop in Chicago, our keywords are obviously going to be something about flower shops in Chicago or being a local flower shop in Chicago, and most of our inner pages are going to be about that. So we should be mindful that that's what our site is targeting for. So when we're creating images, alt tags, site titles, site descriptions, meta keywords, and all that, it should follow generally around talking about Chicago-based flower business, because that's what we're trying to rank in for. And there's so much more beyond this about SEO. SEO is its own animal, totally separate of this. So I'm just kind of giving you a general overview, and then beyond that, maybe in the future I'll make videos on local SEO, like maybe setting up stuff for your WordPress, like trying to get a map listing and stuff like that. But for the moment, let's just keep it really simple. So the next thing is disable duplicate content. We did this, so that's a check. We did that through all-in-one. Best URL structure and the permalinks. We talked about this already, but I'll go back to it again. So when you first fired up your site, you went into permalinks and you changed it to post name. That's perfect. That's the best URL structure for Google and for other search engines to read. SEO plugin, we covered that. And this list, by the way, I made this list because I've been doing this pretty long time, and I know that if you go out and, like I said, you search through a bunch of different forums and posts and blogs and SEO sites, they're going to give you everybody's going to give you some version of this list just in their own way. So I'm just kind of breaking it down into bullets, fast bullets. So SEO plugin, you have Yoast, all-in-one, and all the others just like it. XML sitemaps, we set that up with our all-in-one SEO. There's also a standalone plugin called Google XML Sitemaps if you don't use all-in-one SEO that you could use as well. The Google Search Console, I didn't show you how to set that up, but that's just going to Google, creating a search console, going to Google, typing in Google Search Console. So that's like going in there, and then you also get your sites tags that you can put into the all-in-one SEO that allow it to be tracked for analytics and all that. So that's what the Google Search Console is. It's not necessary, but if you want to do it, you can. And then let's go over a really brief breakdown of page structure. When you're setting up your pages, you want to make sure they have a proper SEO title that's under the amount of character count, a proper SEO description that's under the amount of character count. Now, the thing is, Google's getting pretty good these days at finding what it believes is the most relevant line in the page. I just typed in nofollow here because it's going to talk about nofollow links. And I'm on page 2 because I just wanted to show an example of, you see these 3 dots that Google puts on stuff? That's because it went in the page and it found some text it thought was the most, what it believed to be the closest to what you'd be looking for as an answer inside these pages. Because all these pages do have descriptions. Somebody actually went in and wrote a description. Like if you open a page and then you, like this one for example, and you look at its page source by right-clicking and looking at its code, you're going to see that they actually did put a description in it. Like, see, they're using Yoast Premium plugin. This is a WordPress site, by the way. I just right-clicked it and hit page source, and we know this because WordPress file structures are always the same. So if you wanted to search, you would type in /wp-content, and most often you're going to determine this is in fact a WordPress website because it's going to call in plugins and themes. So that's kind of a whole different thing too. But so we know this is a WordPress website, and we know that SEO gets put in at the header. Meaning that it's one of the first things that gets put into the page's code. And you can see right here they have a description right here, a meta description, where it says no follows, HTML code that can be added to a link which tells search engine and spiders that the link should not be followed or counted. But if we go back to the search engine and we take a look at that listing, that's not what it says here. So Google found its own description somewhere down in the page, and in fact it ignored the one that they had set up. So it's not always going to use the one you put in, but it is a fallback. So if Google can't find something inside your page, it will fall back to that SEO description that you put in. SEO meta keywords, those are just making sure you put in your page, like if it's about a flower shop in Chicago and it's about us, you'd put in Bob's Flowers, about us, you'd put in like a few different keywords like that, and just keep them really simple. And then in your page itself, H1s, there's been a lot of tests about Google saying that they don't really use H1s and H2s as predominantly as they used to. But for best SEO practices, make sure you just use one H1, meaning it's probably the main title in the page. That's, well, let's see, like in this page, there is not, in fact, or I think it might be this one right here. Let's just inspect it. Yes, so this is the page's title in here as an S1, or I'm sorry, an H1 tag. This is called a header 1 in HTML. They have header 1s, H1s, H2s, H3s, H4s, H5s, and I think H6s. I don't think it goes beyond that. But search engines used to put a lot of weight on what was in your H1 as to what the page is about. They're getting much better about it now, so I don't know if it holds as much weight as it used to, but I know that for, at least for accessibility, people who are using screen readers and stuff like that, you should try to keep it to one H1. So let's see this item here. I just wanted to do a short thing on it, linking internally in your site. Google obviously gives a lot of weight to backlinks. If you're not familiar with that, it's easy to go out on the internet and search. There's a million videos made about backlinks and information. It helps your site rank and tell Google what your site's about. But inside your site, anytime you link to your homepage from an inner page, like say you write a blog post about flowers or a special and you're linking to your homepage or to your sales page, you should make sure that that link has a keyword that you want to rank the page you're linking to for. So if you have a flower page and it's Chicago flower special sales or something like that, that's what you want it to say in the link going to that page. And so all your internal links that flow in your site are telling Google what the page it's going to is about. And that's a really simplistic version breakdown of internal linking and flowing link juice inside your site. But that's another thing for best on-site practices. So when you link to your homepage in your site from inner pages, use what the keyword you're trying to rank your site for, and that will help a lot. A big one also is page speed, and I should have also put here device, because it's very important, like we talked about in the beginning, that your theme and everything you choose is mobile compatible and that it's very fast. And I'm going to have a video dedicated to page speed and a couple tools you can use to determine what's taking forever to load on your site. But page speed is very important. And then HTTPS version of your site. This is a secured version. It means that the site is secured for people to put information in, and like on contact forms and things like that. And Google is starting to give a little more weight to HTTPS version sites. And like I said, this is just a very short list. There may be things beyond this, or things that other people will say beyond this list, but this is a pretty simple list that's not going to overwhelm somebody who's just trying to do basic SEO for their site. So this should be pretty simple, and it shouldn't really overwhelm you. Just know that when you're doing each of these things, you already did a lot of them by the way that we set up the site and the way that we brought in all-in-one SEO and we did our site maps and all that. And I didn't put robots in here either, and robots is another good one. But the good thing about WordPress is it takes care of a lot of the, making or closing indexes for you and all that, which is more of a security thing. But most of this stuff is pretty simple. It's all stuff that you can implement pretty easily in your site. And it's just, like I said, it's just that one notch up compared to not knowing any of it. So this helps you at least arm a little bit more on what to do in your site for when you're trying to do best WordPress SEO that you can manage and do yourself, meaning that it's something that you're capable of handling and it's not some outside source that's influencing your site. So I think that's going to wrap us up for video 10. Like I said, I wanted to keep it really short and just make a really basic list here. And so let's see, the next one in part 11, I think we're maybe going to look at page speed, or I'm not really 100% sure on the next one what it's going to be, so you'll just have to keep an eye out for it. It'll be out pretty shortly behind this one. As usual, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and leave me a comment. Tell me if this is all good and if it's something that if this was like a good SEO information. I know that, like I said, it's a pretty simple list breakdown. Very basic list of just additional stuff you can do, and all this stuff's easy to Google as well. Like setting up a search console, you can easily Google that, and there's a million guides on that. And like I said, I might do one in the future, but I'm not sure. So I know that at this point it's easy to search up. So I appreciate watching this one, and I'll see you guys in part 11.